Good morning. Well, August 29, 2020. And that's the morning. It's now very sunny today. And I just want to get out of the house to take a look at the garden to see if the garden needs some help. So it has been about 2 weeks that I have not really done much in the garden. And this morning, well, I have some boxes behind me, and we purchased about 200 pounds of chicken, and they were on sale for probably, I believe, 49 cents a pound. And each one of the boxes has four 10-pound bags of chicken. So as I empty it to my freezer, I wanted to put the boxes. It's getting a little bit, the video is getting a little bit foggy. Okay, now it's back. So I wanted to put in the trash, and I said, wait a minute, that's a good box, so I could mulch my garden with it. So now we are going to mulch the garden with card boxes, or how should we call it, cardboard boxes. So yes, if you have those type of boxes, instead of putting it in the trash, and you have a garden that you are trying to mulch, I think that's a good way to mulch your garden. I have mulched my garden in the past with hay, which I have purchased and paid for delivery, and I have mulched the garden with wood chips, which I got for free from the city electricity company. But now they don't deliver wood chips. You have to go there and haul it yourself. Free, but you have to do it. You have to go there, and we don't have the appropriate car for that or truck for that. So my resort is buying hay. But then before I start spending money on mulch, I need to see what I have around the house that is free that I can use. I don't water, I don't weed. I like to mulch the garden, and I like to mulch it with weed or wood chips. My favorite is wood chips, even over hay. But I have to haul it from the driveway in a wheelbarrow to the garden. That's a lot of work, but I consider that as an exercise. But since I don't have access to wood chips and I had to pay for hay, let's see what we can do with free things around the house. And one example is the boxes. So if you have those boxes that are natural, made out of trees, which they are, why not return them back to the nature? So I'm going to cut them in, pretty much cut the corners so that we can lay them down. Because I have a lot of weeds in my garden, and one way to just decrease the amount of weed that I have is to mulch them. Instead of trying to hold them out, why not mulching over them? It's because I don't have a lot of wood chips in my garden now that those weeds are taking over. So let's see what we can do. I have my scissors here, and I can bring one box for you to take a look at. And they say no wax or something like that. So, and I left it in the house for almost a week. I have to say that it is not easy. And I don't know why it's so hard to break apart. I feel like I can do it by hand. It's not much I'm trying to do, just open it up. So I left it in the basement for about a week, and I think I can just take them out to do what I wanted to do with them. So that's one way to to decrease your waste and make good use of what you have. Hay is easy to spread in the garden when you have it. And pretty much what hay is grass, you know. So if you have a lawn, you mow, and you like to rake the leaves, the car grass, which I think we are not supposed to do, so that it can fertilize your lawn for you. But if you do that, so that it looks pretty, you can mulch your garden with those car grass as well. And that's pretty much what I do. I don't rake my grass when I mow, but when I cast some area in the garden, I just mulch the garden with it, because that's pretty much hay. It's not the same type of seed. It's not alfalfa, but it's all in the grass family. So you see the way I open it? So we want to smother weeds. And if where I'm going to put it is this wide, I'll just put it down. But if the area is not that wide, then I can cut it, you know, in smaller pieces. So let's do that and see what we can do when we get in the garden. And the way the box is a good way to mulch your garden, because the organics are going to breathe. They are going to continue breathing, you know, under the carboards. It's just going to cut the sunlight for the weeds. I don't like to use plastic to smother with my garden, because it pretty much, to me, it will suffocate lives in the ground. So I don't do that. I just use those cardboards that will break down. And pretty much become a compost at the same time. And that's another one here as well. And I don't know if I will be able to cut it in smaller pieces for some area around some plants. If I can stop fighting with the box, the box is very sturdy. And the chicken that came in it was heavy, so I think it makes sense if the box is this sturdy. And it has a bag. The chicken pieces were in the 10-pound bag, but then 4 bags were in a big transparent bag, so the box didn't have any blood in it or anything like that. should have full gloves on. It's kind of hard on my hands. But we are getting there, right? Okay, so have some pieces out. I can use them elsewhere as well. So that's 3, and you get the idea. So now let's see. I have one here that was just from Aldi. We got a lot of apple on sale, or whatever fruit that was, and I like to use the type of boxes from Aldi to stock up on fruit, no, to stock up on potatoes, sweet potato and potatoes in the basement. They last for months. And I purchased sweet potato in fall 2019, and I cook it last Saturday. Was it Saturday? This week. So today is the 29th of August, so I cook it in less than a week ago, you know. So, and that lasts almost a year in my basement, more than 6 months to 8 months in the basement. Few went bad, and I purchased over 100 pounds of sweet potatoes, and they last. So they last a lot longer than potatoes. But potato lasts as well. So I like to have those type of boxes. They are sturdy. You find them at Aldi in the produce section, in the fridge area, and they are stackable. So you just put your potatoes and sweet potatoes on them. So when you are done, well, one way you can use them if you are not going to keep them is just to mulch your garden with them as well. So I added to the mix. Now that we are done to 2, you can take what we pull apart the garden and see how it can be useful for us. So that one is done for. And I don't know how many I'll be to carry. Yeah. But see if you can take 2. Yeah, if you can take that, that would be great. And I should take my scissor, because I don't know if I'll need it. And let's open this garden and get inside. And now you can see the ground, and you will see some wood chips. Last fall I mulched with fall leaves, and you can barely see fall leaves now in the garden. They just broke down that fast within a year. And now you can see that I have creeping Charlie in the garden, right? Okay, so I'm just going to take one bus here when we are going. So you can see here, that's a lot of creeping Charlie. So we are just going to start with our pathway. So you can see that I have these things here. Don't even know how it is, but I think this is supposed to be pathway. The wood, the main wood is there for the bed, but strawberries is going past the wood area. Is on the side of the pathway. But pretty much what I'm trying to do here is putting those boxes, just laying them down on pathway. And let me see those strawberries. I can put it between the plants too. So let me go get the rest. You can see how I put that one. I have arugula and I have strawberry. So I just put it somewhere between them. So let me get the rest. It is a long-term thing. It's not, if you don't have a lot of boxes, you're not going to achieve your goal right away. But a little by little, when you have excess, you have those boxes, and you just come and put them where you want to put them. Over time, it just increase the, it just enrich your soil in the garden. Because they'll break down and just become a compost in the garden for you. So once it rains, you will soften it up. But that's just that. That's one way you can smother some of those plants. And if you wanted to do it around the plants, we have this one here that I have multiple times. The arugula I have multiple times with creeping Charlie, just whole creeping Charlie around it and mulch it. But now that we have this here, and it's trying to pretty much spread out, and I have this plant here, horseradish, and you see that's just a leaf of horseradish, and I'll just like to mulch, and I'll mulch. So let's add this box around the plant here to hold some moisture down for it. Just going to add pieces here and just put it a little bit around it. I'm not putting it too close because it's trying to lay down on the ground. So I want that to do that and root, if that's possible. Because the plant is here, but it's just like lay down on the ground like that. And that's just that to help keep moisture and weed low around this plant here. You can do that with your car boxes. It doesn't have to be pathway, it could be the bed as well. And since I have those two, I have another one here that I will benefit from it.